Try telling a queer scientist that he has no choice.
My husband, Chad, is naturally a better decorator than many professional designers that have their own shows. Years ago, when he lived in an apartment complex, the rental office staff became aware of how beautiful he decorated his apartment. It really was award-winning, literally. Anyway, the apartment manager notified Chad that his apartment was to be the model going forward. Chad was not happy with this development. Strangers moving through his personal areas, going through his things, possibly stealing things? Unacceptable. The apartment manager was quick to mention that this was a part of Chad's lease. Suddenly, an idea occurred to Chad. Are you allowed to move or cover up anything in my apartment? No sir, we are not allowed to touch, move, rearrange or cover up anything. Thank you. Chad put up every piece of male erotica he possessed, and he even bought some more. Posters, figurines, serious art. Even a pile of magazines fanned out on the coffee table, like some kind of doctor's office. Chad called the rental office and warned them against bringing anyone into his apartment that was a child or squeamish about such subject matter. The rental office immediately sent over one of their maintenance men to confirm. Check and mate.
Maintenance man, what's taking you so long over there? I once toured an apartment complex, in a college area, and the airbender apartment we toured was decorated with dildos, had penis light switches, which was impressive and disgusting, and was just gross in general, dirty clothes cigarette butts on the floor, and the tenants were just plopped on the couch in t-shirts and underwear. It would have been bad enough if we had been warned and still chose to go in, but the management didn't say anything until after the tour. At which point they said sorry, they're always like that, but they're the easiest to deal with. Like what? You knew what we were walking into and said nothing in advance? Okay, bye, we will not need a card or a brochure or anything. We will not be living here.
This would have been so much more entertaining had Chad not called to warn them. The looks on the faces of prospective leasers/buyers would have been priceless.
Do you mean by part of his lease, that he was forced by contract to let them use his flat as a model? I'm no expert in US law, but isn't that illegal? In Germany we only have to let the landlord in for inspections and these kind of things, and only with 1 week's notice or SMTH like that.
I had flatmates when I was at college. And we rented a house with a room each from a landlord who seemed reasonable at the time. About 3 months. Yes. Months. Before the end of the lease. He started showing round people with about 10 minutes warning on the phone. If we didn't answer the phone, he'd show up anyway. All 4 of us got really annoyed with this. But he refused to stop unless we re-upped the yearly contract. Which we weren't going to do because it was our finals year. The solution we came to was similar to OP's. We just went naked whenever we got the call. And in the UK, the landlord has to call. So he'd call. We'd ignore the call itself. Thanks. Caller id. Strip off and hang out in the lounge. Weirdly enough, the lounge was on the first floor. Not the ground floor, which was all bedrooms. So no one was looking in.
He stopped showing the place after the first few times. Aside, I didn't think about the kid angle, but we didn't get any kids come by, just rather shocked adults who walked in on a room of naked guys, or who were confronted by a naked guy standing at the top of the stairs asking what the hell they were doing in our house. Slow clapping it for Chad, clapping hands, 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 clapping hands.
So I guess they decided not to use your apartment as a model after all? Laughing face. How much smarter it would have been if the apartment manager had asked for Chad for help in setting up the model apartment instead of trying to take advantage of him. This was a part of Chad's lease. That's an interesting lease term. What does him being a scientist have to do with anything? What does the model going forward mean? Rather than showing the apartment for rent, they will show Chad's? I don't understand. So I'm guessing you let Chad decorate your guy's new place? Weird ask, but does Chad do virtual design consultations? I have a weird dining room. Now office. Kitchen living room open floor plan that is far more difficult than I thought it would be to place furniture and keep clean. The rental office immediately sent over one of their maintenance men to confirm. I don't think I'd allow a maintenance man into my apartment for the sole reason of him being able to report on the decor I had selected. I'm sure that's not covered in the lease as part of access to do repairs, and they usually also require at least 24 hours of written notice. Literally. How do you win awards for apartment decorating? I bet that maintenance man had a story to tell after that. That room had more dicks in it than a session of Congress. Quote. What? How does that work? What kind of place is it that it even dares to request allowing strangers to enter a place without the supervision of the one legally living in it? Sounds like a total Chad. I love how I don't know if you called your husband a Chad. Or that he's actually named Chad. Great MC too. Lol, well played.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.